Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we break down the latest news and current events. I'm your host, Walter. Today, we're starting with a developing story from the Middle East, where tensions between Israel and Iran have been escalating. But first, let's take a look at some news from Israel that's making headlines around the world. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has announced that he's been treated for prostate cancer. In a statement released on social media, Netanyahu revealed that doctors discovered a malignant tumor in his prostate at an early stage, and he underwent treatment to remove it completely. The Israeli leader said he's now in excellent physical condition and chose to delay releasing this information until after a 2-month period, citing concerns that Iranian leaders might use it to spread false propaganda against Israel. This news comes as Israel and Iran are engaged in a conflict that has raised concerns globally. Despite the ongoing tensions, Netanyahu's health announcement has sparked interest and discussion worldwide. The details of his treatment, including radiation therapy, have been reported by various sources, although some aspects of his condition remain unclear. It's worth noting that Netanyahu's announcement also follows a period of speculation and conspiracy theories surrounding his health, with some online rumors even suggesting that he had been assassinated. The Israeli Prime Minister has since addressed these claims, posting videos to reassure the public of his well-being. As we continue to follow developments in the Middle East, it's essential to consider the complex geopolitical landscape and the various factors at play. We'll be keeping a close eye on this story and providing updates as more information becomes available. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block, folks. We're diving into a complex and intriguing story that's been making waves in international politics. It appears that the United States is considering taking a harder stance against its NATO allies, particularly those who have been hesitant to provide support for the ongoing conflict with Iran. According to reports, a memo has been circulating within the Pentagon, outlining various policy options aimed at addressing the perceived lack of commitment from certain European nations. These options include suspending countries like Spain from the alliance, as well as re-evaluating U.S. diplomatic support for long-standing European imperial possessions, such as the Falkland Islands. Now, it's essential to note that these proposals are still in the discussion phase and have not been officially confirmed by the U.S. government. However, the fact that they're being considered at all is a significant indication of the growing tensions between the U.S. and its NATO partners. The U.S. has been critical of countries like Spain, which has refused to allow its bases or airspace to be used for attacks on Iran. The Spanish government has argued that participating in such actions would be equivalent to entering the war, and they're only willing to provide support for keeping the Strait of Hormuz open once a lasting ceasefire is in place. On the other hand, the U.S. administration has emphasized that NATO cannot be a one-way street, where the U.S. provides all the support without receiving adequate commitment from its allies. This perspective is rooted in the idea that European nations have developed a sense of entitlement, relying on the U.S. for protection without pulling their weight in times of need. As this situation continues to unfold, it's crucial to consider multiple viewpoints and avoid taking sides. The complexities of international politics demand a nuanced approach, acknowledging the valid concerns and interests of all parties involved. The potential consequences of these policy options are far-reaching and could have significant implications for global stability. As we move forward, it's essential to prioritize open communication, cooperation, and a deep understanding of the intricate relationships between nations. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We've got one more story to cover before we wrap up today's show. As the world of international diplomacy continues to evolve, a significant development has emerged in the relationship between the United States and Russia. According to recent reports, President Vladimir Putin has been invited to attend the G20 summit in Miami this December, hosted by the United States. This move comes as part of President Donald Trump's efforts to improve relations between the two nations and potentially pave the way for a resolution to the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. The invitation has sparked mixed reactions, with some hailing it as a positive step towards diplomacy and others expressing skepticism about Putin's willingness to attend, given the current tensions between Russia and Western countries. It's worth noting that Putin has been largely shunned by Western leaders since the 2022 invasion of Ukraine and has opted to participate in international events via video link due to an outstanding International Criminal Court warrant for his arrest. President Trump has stated that he doubts Putin will accept the invitation, but also expressed a willingness to welcome him if he does decide to attend. The Kremlin has confirmed that Putin has not yet made a decision on whether to participate in the summit. As this situation continues to unfold, it's essential to consider the potential implications of such a meeting and how it might impact the global political landscape. It's also important to remember that the United States is not a member of the International Criminal Court, which means that Putin would not be at risk of detention if he were to attend the summit in person. This factor could potentially influence Putin's decision, as it would provide him with a rare opportunity to engage with Western leaders in a face-to-face setting. As we conclude today's show, it's clear that the complex and often contentious relationship between the United States and Russia will continue to be a major focus of international attention in the months to come. We'll be keeping a close eye on developments and providing you with timely updates and analysis. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.